Welcome back everybody to Desktop Inventions. We've got a whole new week of 3D printing news here. So 3D printing is getting weirder and cooler. This week we've got MIT printing with X-string, NASA printing in space, a 3D printer that flies, and shoes designed by AI and printed just for your feet. Let's dive into the latest in the world of 3D printing. Let's go. All right, first up on the docket, MIT just revealed something wild. It's called X-strings. So if you've ever seen the 3D printed fingers or tentacles moving seemingly on their own, but there's really a string embedded there, this is likely what you're seeing. Think bionic arms, kinetic art, or custom motion systems, all printed in one go. This could open up a whole new category of moving 3D printed parts without post-assembly. Their innovation here is creating a design tool that easily allows you to embed strings into the parts based on your movement profile without having to tediously 3D model all these details yourself. From what I can tell, so far this design tool isn't open source and isn't out there for the public to use just yet. But if you're wanting to build a robot that moves straight up off of the print bed, this is definitely moving in that direction. All right, so NASA is stepping up its game with in-orbit 3D printing. Why? Because sending parts into space is extremely expensive. With this system, astronauts can print custom tools, replacement parts, and brackets directly on the ISS, saving both weight and space at launch. Not only can they print their own tools on demand, but they also have a recycling system called the Refabricator, created by Tethers Unlimited Incorporated, that can recycle the parts back into raw materials to be used again and again. There are currently ongoing studies to see how many times the material can be reused. So it seems we've overcome 3D printing in microgravity. The next step will be 3D printing tons of useless benchies on the moon. And again, from Bambu Labs, they just dropped something fun, and it's not a printer, it's called Cyberbricks, and they're programmable, 3D printable toys with swappable electronics. 3D print a forklift, a robot, or a soccer bot, then you snap in the brain, aka the control module, and go. This is a really cool idea, especially if you get the community involved. Want to have a Ferrari car instead of your forklift? Once somebody can upload a model, you can download it, reuse the electronics from your forklift, and turn it into a Ferrari. That is going to be game changing. It's beginner friendly, totally open to remixing on the Maker World, and it starts at just $29. Honestly, this is perfect for kids or adults to get into the intersection of 3D printing, electronics, and coding. When you combine all three of these together, there's so many things that you can do beyond just 3D printing. All right, so new one coming from Ultimaker. Ultimaker has launched their new S8, their fastest and most capable printer yet. It boasts up to 4 times productivity compared to its predecessor. It's got dual extrusion, improved motion control, and higher accuracy even at high speed. Designed for professionals and rapid prototyping, this thing's built to compete with industrial printers, and the price reflects that. It's coming in at about $9,000 US. Not for everyone, but definitely something to consider in the professional world where reliability and quality is of most importance. Okay, this one's interesting, and if you watched my recent TCT Asia video, you know that 3D printing shoes is all the rage right now. So there's a startup called Scintillate that has launched the first AI-designed shoes that are also 3D printed to fit the exact shape of your foot. So this is gonna sound crazy, but you scan your feet with your phone, and then AI generates the optimal design for your posture and pressure points. Then they 3D print the shoes and ship them out to you. This reminds me of an app a few years back called M-Tailor that you would set your camera up and then you would turn around 360 degrees and it would get your dimension and order custom tailor-made shirts for you. So Scintillate is promising these 3D printed shoes to be delivered in just 5 weeks, and it's backed by Joe Foster, who's a co-founder of Reebok. This could be the future of custom, sustainable footwear, and honestly, I wouldn't mind buying a pair for myself. All right, so a flying 3D printer? Yeah, you heard that right. Someone actually mounted a 3D printer onto an RC flying plane. I watched the whole video on YouTube and it was great. An awesome crossover between the 3D printing world and RC airplanes. A group of YouTubers took one of the Elegoo Centauri carbon printers and strapped it onto an airplane, creating the first ever airborne 3D printing system. Well, rather, they built the airplane around the printer. It's more of a creative experiment than a practical tool, but it totally shows off just how far you can push modern compact printers. I won't spoil the ending of how it turned out, but let me just say it was super exciting and a good promotion of 3D printing. The link is in the description below. If you want to check it out, I highly recommend it. Now let's jump over and take a look at our Printables and Thingiverse prints of the week. All right, here we go. This is our first print of the week from Thingiverse. This is the Minibike Kit Card by Pekonimato. So I love these kit cards. They print out super fast and super easy. They're all laying down flat. And this one we can assemble ourselves with just all the pieces snapping together. So let's get to it. So overall, this kit took me about 5 to 10 minutes to disassemble, and I used a carbon fiber filament, which didn't have the best quality. I wouldn't recommend doing that in the future. Then it took about 5 or 10 minutes to assemble all together, and it was all snapped together, no gluing or special tools needed. Honestly, I'll probably end up printing this out again at 2 or 3 times scale. I think that'll make a really nice piece for my desktop because I love mini bikes. I'm gonna have to say I'm really impressed with how easy this went together, even though I chose this carbon fiber filament that really didn't turn out that well. Everything snapped together and worked really well. We even have the working rear suspension here. So this design is really well thought out. So I give props to Pekonimato. He did a really good job designing this mini bike. Next up on our print of the week here, we have this Flexi glasses case from Rory's 3D. And this one is really cool. It just prints laying down flat on the bed like this. And because of all these cutouts, it becomes flexible here. So I should be able to just fold this up and bend this over to lock it in place. There we go. That is pretty cool. So let's see if we can fit these glasses inside. So we should just set these in there, fold the bottom flap up, and then get the top flap down, and it locks into place. There we go. Very cool. To open it, we just press down on this lid here, and it pops open. So I just realized on this glasses case, this bottom flap can snap into place actually, like that, and like that. So now the bottom flap will stay into place, which makes this a lot easier to use as well. So that is awesome. Awesome print. Thank you for that, Rory's 3D. So the links for both of these will be down in the description. You can go ahead and print them off and build them yourself at home. All right, that's your weekly dose of 3D printing news. From AI-generated shoes to flying printers, what blew your mind the most this week? Oh, and be sure to check out the video I just released on TCT Asia 2025, one of the world's largest 3D printing expos. I released a whole video on the cool and exciting things I found there. So drop a comment, give this video a thumbs up if you learned something new, and subscribe for more 3D printing news updates. I'll see you next time at Desktop Inventions.